Hey, Benny.
Hi, Ben.
Hello, guys. Good evening. Did everyone have a good Easter?
Yep.
I'm on
It's
a
okay.
I'm on a beach accompanied by somebody else.
Hey guys, Luke here. We're on speaker on Ben's phone. We're sitting next to each other physically, which is rare.
We're on a beach in
Yeah,
Vietnam.
two bald people on the beach in Vietnam. My God, the sun flare is going to be crazy.
You'd never find us. We're inconspicuous, that's for sure. So we need an Easter egg. It's only fair. What could we do for an Easter egg? I actually, like I did say, would do some giveaways. We've got some stuff that we can give away, but we've got to have. Oh, look at that! That's no good. Come on, all sorts. We've got to do we've got to have too much here. Exactly. It's RFOX 2020. I knew you'd bring that up, XP. A green one, eh? Second from the bottom. So, like we said, we'd have a casual one tonight. I don't know if we've got any spoilers, have we?
Piyush told me he's going to send me something, then he just ghosted
we
me.
do.
So
Yes, we do. I
No.
have them. I have. You're still annoyed with that.
There you go. And then where's your intricate question, XP? Normally it's about a clover leaf they found with 6 sides or 6 leaves or something. What are we all degenning into now? Because the markets are woeful, and I'd be interested to hear your opinions because it's always us. What do you think will happen with the way the world's going, the potential looming global recession? Will we see crypto stand up and be the legitimate alternative, or will it continue to go down with it? No one knows.
Going to be a little bit of both. You know, some good projects people are just going to remain bullish on and they'll keep the value up. And other projects are just going to go by the wayside as everything goes down in general.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad view. I think switch on the creator economy and give people an opportunity to sort of create their own jobs and value from what they create. I think that's a really good opportunity. Yeah, long term up for sure, mate. No, it's not. That's all on me, Crypto Ball. It's been done for a while. It's just a matter of fixing the FAQs. We've got a couple of massive things coming up with the Vault and also TV and a few things. So it's all in very quick succession. I'll make it a priority this week, mate. I think we will lose a few of the coins. I think we'll lose a lot of them. We always do. I think we've already lost a lot of. There's a lot of them. They're like those. They're like, what are they called? The stars, the nebulas. They've actually already gone, but you can't see them. It takes a long time for it to get to us, but there's a ton of zombie projects right now where people have not been doing anything. There was a ton of zombie projects before the last run-up, and then when the run-up came, you saw that they started tweeting again and keeping the lights on, trying to show someone's at home, and then now they'll vanish again. How was Luke's departure on Friday Wednesday now?
So I'm in Phuket with Ben. We're staying in a hotel at the moment, but we're sitting on the beach right now, and it's beautiful.
I don't know where Phuket is.
Yeah, just keep the seat warm for me. I'm heading over soon.
Okay, mate. That's good.
When tournament awards information, I think tomorrow or soon. I'm not sure.
We'll definitely be giving staking information.
No, tomorrow's the staking information, not the tournament.
Tournaments will still take a couple weeks.
Any new information relating to Chasing Space and Dr. Scott Bolton? So all I can say is that Chasing Space is actually getting much, much bigger than was then first anticipated. And they're looking at working with a number of people now because it's growing hugely. So I think that's going to be it's going to end up being more like it's going to do lots of collabs and lots of different things. I don't want to ruin their thunder because you're starting to see some sneak peeks. Obviously, that's going to be hugely. I think it's quite exciting what they're doing, to be honest. Fidelity Investments has launched crypto metaverse ETF. Is RFOX or VFOX? Is this had RFOX team spoken to Fidelity? In the past, but not haven't spoken to them recently. Can do. How hard is a blockchain company to keep motivation when market is in red for a longer time? That's a great question, mate. I think the interesting part is that you kind of have to have internal and external benchmarks. And the reason that is because, say, for example, I'll pick on Pete because he's here. If Pete's team's delivering amazing stuff, doing great contract work, it's high security, it's interoperable, all the work they're doing is groundbreaking. Technically speaking, the market, like for example, even if you've done amazing stuff and the market's going down, people will say that sucks and you timed it wrong and you brought it out at the wrong time, or it's because no one likes it, or it doesn't look good. And people start trying to find fault with things because of the fact that they are looking for an explanation or reason to blame why the price isn't moving up. So what you have to do is continually work on the fact that you've got milestones, goals and targets internally, and then if you're reaching those, you have to celebrate them and say at some stage the market will rebound. But I think Jeff Bezos was basically the one who said it best. He basically said, if the market goes down 30%, it doesn't mean that you're an idiot. If it goes up 30%, it doesn't mean you're a genius either. So you've got to take the good with the bad. So yes, it is a constant, I guess, process, Pete, would you say? Because you've got to continually try and tell people that they've done something good, but the market might not reflect that, and vice versa. You've got to try and also rein people in when the market goes up. Looks like people magnify on the reason it's done that is because of this thing they faced or this thing they did, when it's actually nothing to do with any of that. So it is a very good question, George74, and it isn't easy to keep people's motivation up because the public in a normal consumer product without tokens will react very differently to the way that people do in crypto space. It's very, very different. And a lot of people coming into the space for the first time do not understand why there is a mismatch, and they find it very mentally hard to deal with.
So I think my team is the opposite. My team is bunch of nutheads.
Your team's fantastic,
When
mate.
when the going gets tough, they just hammer out stuff more. I mean, they hammer more stuff out. It's crazy. The motivation's like all-time high right now.
Your team is like market resistant. They just keep saying, what next? I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to put stuff out, groundbreaking stuff, and I think that's awesome. Whereas the people that are new, like you've got to also understand that a lot of people that are new to the space, they come in from a traditional job or industry, and it's not just our project, it's everyone, and they don't understand that mismatch. They don't understand how they can work their butt off and do as much as they possibly can, and then why would the public get upset, or why would people not be as appreciative of the work that you put in? And it's very, very difficult thing to manage for sure. It's a great question, George74. Probably won't fit the criteria for an ETF. Maybe not. Markets come and go. This doesn't. That's a belter, isn't it? It's like that. It's like on Total Recall. Wait. That's the dude next to you. Wondered why he was concentrating. I do it while driving all the time. Dude behind me asked, Jesus. drink 10 beers from the swim up. I never leave the pool. That's funny. Me personally, I don't drink at all. So it's a very, very it's interesting to watch all the people when they're on holidays do that. Sorry, I didn't hear if you replied any definite decision regarding content sharing during the MVP. Maybe you want to answer that, Luke. It's about the sharing the vault.
Yeah. So what we're doing at the moment is we're just coming up with a welcome. And what we're going to do is just sort of just guide people in the right direction on that. So we're fine with people sharing stuff that are in there as long as they're doing it in a positive way. If we don't want people sharing bugs and that sort of stuff necessarily because it's not constructive. But if people want to share their experience, give feedback and do that publicly, then that's fine. We're okay with that. Yeah, we just want it to be, like I said, be constructive, be positive.
What we've got to understand as well, guys, is that some people will liken this to, they'll say, this is the final product or this is what we've been building. So it's very important that we really emphasize the fact that it's a work in progress, that it's a sandbox, it's not a product. Question from earlier from someone not here, will Novogratz be involved in the Vault MVP? I'm not sure. I can't commit people. Someone from his establishment more likely will be for sure. Yeah, that's right. It's always disclaimed it's pre-alpha MVP. I think it's you could take that attitude way forward, and when you bring out your first iteration on product, you could say the same thing. You could say, look, it's still going to keep iterating and developing and all the rest. But this is quite different from what the final product looks like and the glimpses that we're giving you. So it's very, very different. Preventing people from recording content in the vault to share. I think what he was saying, mate, was that there'll be a list of, like a code of conduct. What we want is constructive criticism. We want to collect all the bugs and fix them all. What we don't want is people going out and saying, look at this, and being non-constructive. We understand what's wrong and we understand what's good. So, yeah.
It doesn't help anyone. We're all investors.
Yeah, exactly. We're all investors. It doesn't help to we should be celebrating the fact that a dirty MVP is out there and taking steps in the right direction, and how many people have actually got a VR metaverse that's actually up and running as opposed to the sandboxes. And how long do you anticipate closed beta to last for?
So it'll, particularly when we've got something that's closer to the final product, that will do it. But we're talking months. It won't be weeks. It'll be months. But as far as how many people go in there during that time, that's probably the better question. How big will that audience get, rather than how long will it last? So I think it can prolong it if we're letting more people in, and that's. But it'll last up until we've got something really to replace it with, and then that's when we'll open it up for everybody and take out the sign-up requirement.
Just having some issues saving my marriage with the shirt I already have. I'm not surprised. When will the new Vault be out so I can jump in and explore? I keep checking every day. So, 27th.
It's in the alpha channel at the moment. It's in a different channel at the moment, and we won't release it to that public channel until the last minute, because the time we have to send invites out, but not actually give it away until the last minute. So we'll push that release right before the 27th to the channel that everybody's in at the moment, which is the alpha channel. There's a pre-alpha channel that staff are in, but it'll sit in there until we're ready to on probably the evening of the 26th or the morning of the 27th, and then that's when shop owners will see it, and then probably late that day, we'll start getting the first few people in.
Okay. What do we got? Need to get Nyancat Benny t-shirt so I can. Yeah, I'm wearing that. Yeah, that'll be funny. In the upcoming Vault staking, will there be a VFOX pool, or is VFOX only a multiplier for the NFT pools? So any pools that we do going forwards will all be VFOX based. That's the rewards token. But ultimately, the VFOX will act as, like, you'll still have VFOX pools for sure. But the VFOX will be a multiplier for your NFTs. When will the final list for those selected for MVP be announced? Oop.
So this is probably a question for Piyush as to how that's going out. He's not here tonight, is he?
No.
So I think probably the more likely approach is that we'll go to people individually and let them know rather than publishing a list. So we'll send out a successful, you've been selected sort of email with a welcome pack in it, and that's how people will know. And unless something's changed, we don't plan to put a public list out.
Yes. So while we're waiting for the next lot of questions to come through, I think it might be a good time, Lala, to show the preview.
Roger that. I'll need someone to actually screen share as well, because there's about 40 of us today. Alright, can everyone see my
I don't know how to do
screen?
that.
I trust someone does. Can you guys see it?
It's the big one.
Yeah, it is. It's one of my favorite.
What is that, guys? What do you think that is?
Genesis.
Hunger Games.
See if someone gets it right. What is that? What is the picture you're looking at?
Calanova.
It is. That is Calanova. That is the new Calanova. I'll give you a little bit of a juicy gossip as well. We've got a new. We'll actually base. We'll base some of the new office that we're putting together on the quarters to look like those quarters, which will be cool. Can everybody see it? Has everybody seen it? Oh, Face, thank you as well. If it comes a heavy long winter due to macro depression, like 4 years, do you have enough funds to survive it? Yeah, so the good part about what we've done is we've built and injuries recently, but you've got two choices, right? You've got the choice of saying, let's spread things out as much as we can. Let's work with a team of 20. Let's remain lean. Let's do what we need to do. And even 20 is relatively big for a lot of these crypto projects. I saw that one of the projects recently that got valued at $1 billion has 16 people, and they were sort of saying, it's a massive team. So we've got well over 100 now and recruiting fast. So our view was the two options are to be lean, go slowly, or ramp up, do it quickly, and get to a point where you know that you're still going to be in the window of relevancy, but more importantly, get the products out to market so that they can start functioning like actual products and ventures, and that way they can start producing revenue and bringing in a more sustainable model. So we put the foot down and went as hard as we possibly can. So the answer to your question is, with these products about to drop now, we're in a good position because it means that revenue will start flowing in, and doesn't matter what the environment is. And obviously, if we flick the switch on the creator economy, that's going to mean more revenue for us, but it's also going to mean more and more people turn their focus to trying to work out how they can create jobs or income for themselves as a result of that. Are there any influencers, YouTubers going into the MVP? Yes. But I think we have mentioned a couple of them, but I'm going to let Piyush and the marketing team spoil that to you. And when that happens, obviously as well, that looks totally different. Looks great at first glance. Yeah. So I think that a lot of effort and thought went into it, and quite honestly, what you're seeing now is also very much a sandbox. So that is very much a much more end goal or end state version, and that's already being we've already got the people on board internally that are working on building that out. So yes, 1 VFOX equals 16.055 RFOX. Yeah, people have asked for my predictions many times before, and I did always say that it would. I was shocked that it was 10 to 1, and I think that knowing what it does and what it is, I would have anticipated, especially with RFOX being around the market cap that it is at the moment, I would have thought, 20 to 30 would have been around par for the course. But, if we do get into releasing these products very shortly and RFOX is an accepted form of currency, I think you'll, the higher RFOX goes, that gap is going to be harder to maintain. You swapped 100,000 RFOX into VFOX at 8.
Yeah, I got a bunch at 8-ish as well. Didn't expect it to, hit 16. It's nice.
I think a lot of it was a long time it was 10 to 1, and then it was probably floating between 10 to 12, and then I remember just like 3-4 months ago when we were sort of working through the economic model, I remember saying, hey, this thing could reach 15 anytime, so it's possible. And then to see it at 16 is just you've also got to understand that they're low volume traded tokens at this particular point in time. Once the products are released and the ecosystem clicks in, they'll be much higher traded, and I'd expect that you'd see VFOX comfortably doing over 1 million. Where are the shops? Good question, Crypto Ball. Sorry, I missed that one. You will soon see. But the shops, as you know at the moment, you've effectively got this facade or this small sort of, I don't know what you want to call them, Pete, but you've got an indicator of where the shops are, and then the shops are basically all underground when you move in there. So if you have a close-up zoom of that picture, which I'm sure you'll all get the chance to do so very shortly, you're going to see that it is that's been integrated into the design concept, which makes it 20 times cooler. So you'll see that. Yeah, you will be able to. So you said you can't see them in the pic. You will be able to. Very much so. OpenSea does 5 billion in transactions in one good month. VFOX is so cheap it hurts. Yeah, it's I've always been bullish on it since day one. I think that in fairness, like a lot of these tokens trade on speculation, and there was some really good reports that came out recently about correlation not being there, and that adoption can happen on one and not the other, either the network or the token. And Bitcoin was the one that was sort of referenced. Bitcoin, the network itself hasn't been anywhere near as adopted as the token. So it is possible for those two to act independently or differently to each other. And I think you'll find that with our type of ecosystem, once you actually turn on that transaction function for the RFOX token, you'll see that the floodgates open for sure. Listed on a CEX, that's a good idea. Sam and CZ, can you ever see VFOX listed on other exchanges, or is it something you want to keep just on RFOX Finance flowing through RFOX? No, and I think for sure it should be listed. And the fact is that, technically speaking, anyone can list anything at any time as well. There's always been a reluctance previously there'd been a reluctance to issue or to list BSC-based tokens. Some of the exchanges didn't do it, but they're all opening up to that now. Tell them you said hi. So I think access is extremely important. The Calanova, so Calanova continually, daytime and night. Oh, that's a very good question as well, Face. I'll let you guys answer that. So how do you think we deal with that? Because we're going to show you, not tonight, but we're going to show you. How do you think we deal with the fact that some things are day and some things are night, and the transitions? And you've seen the photographs of, or the images of the apartments, right? And you've seen that as a nighttime view with lights. Does anyone want to have a guess at how we do that? I'm probably not going to tell you even if you get it right. I'll show you, but it's very, very creative and ingenuitive. The Calanova Vault puts Apple Park to shame. Can't wait to see the Vault in full action. Yeah, it's really looking very, very cool, isn't it? I think it's got like a little bit of a Star Wars theme, and it's but the vegetation and the underground layering makes it just really, really great. What's your prediction regarding number of employees inside RFOX system in a couple of years? That's a very good question, because even I guess I don't know, like if you had have asked me a year ago how many people we would have got to by now, I probably would have said 30 to 50. So you might say, well, how come it's exploded so much, or how come you've hired double? And like I said to you, we had to make that decision. Do you put your foot down and go as hard as you can towards getting products out, or do you do it slowly and much more slowly? And we decided to put the foot down. So
yeah, feel free to blame the tech team. I think we got the largest amount of stuff. I think, I'm not sure, but one of the largest stuff.
Yeah, media would be up there, and yeah, but yes, for sure, and games obviously. But I think that the answer to that question is if the products gain traction and start doing well. I think the biggest growth areas from an employment perspective will be in relation to sales, growth, service. So those functions grow based on demand. It's possible that we could get to. Did you put a time prediction on that? A couple of years. It's possible to get to 200 this year, depending. But the plans that we've got at the moment have us around about 128 if you include the positions that are open at the moment, plus all of the third parties that we are working with as well. But 128 core staff in the very near future. How many years to launch the national vault after the global Genesis vault? Any region to start with first? So what we'd always said was that we would look at doing Philippines first for two reasons. And it's not to say that that's subject to change, because we're getting demand from other places as well. But the Philippines was largely English speaking, so we would be able to control the narrative as far as BI, business intelligence, and to be able to collect data and work out what's happening, what's working and what's not. So the Philippines makes the most sense. As far as when is concerned, once we've actually got the design, the style, and to a point where we could potentially effectively white label on behalf of ourselves, there's no reason that it would be anything other than timing based or related. So first of all, you have to get a product out, then you have to make sure that you do all the interconnectivity, you have to make sure that you've established a product market fit, and then you would be able to go. So I don't think it's years at all. I think once it's up and running properly and we've got it out of beta and it's moving, it's possible to, you're talking about a lick of paint, different colors, filling the stores with vendors, and I wouldn't see that it would take more than 6 months after the main release. Yeah, 128 bit encryption. What's happening with the NFT white label platform? Has anyone used it to launch NFTs yet? What happened to the 30+ projects signing up? So the projects are still there, obviously, and we've got tons signed up. Pete, do you want to give an update from the tech perspective? You can say anything you like. It's not here tonight.
And the platform's ready, but I got no idea who signed up. I think PU is handling it.
Yeah, so
but we got that one. We got that one that we're already working with right now, and then we've got the other two that we're also working with, and I think the two new ones. But all those did not sign up from the sign up. Those are partners.
Yeah, so we've got three that we're working closely with internally in helping them. We've also got 4 or 5 that we know of that are already producing that want to plug in, and then the rest of the people that we've got are applying for grants or have come to us and said they want to do something and they're waiting in a queue because some of them still want a lot of help with tokenomics or design. So once we open the floodgates, Ninja, they'll open, but we need to make sure that we don't get open up the floodgates on day one and get littered with trash. We need to make sure that we've got quality, solid products that are coming in and projects. Will Calanova graphics and size during the MVP opening be like the current build I'm in now? Not bad graphics at all for an MVP, in my opinion, just a different type of graphics, Overwatch, etc. Yeah, so there could be a few little changes with sizes. They're doing what do you call that? Scale. So, but not huge difference with the MVP in size, but the size will obviously change quite significantly with the final. But yeah, there's some improvements for sure, Lara, with textures, lighting, and some basic scale and function for sure. But yes, they'll iterate towards the graphics that you've seen in the pictures that we're sport, like the ones tonight. If you had 800 tubes, how many would you burn for avatars? Is that a specific question to anybody in particular, Hanford?
Any of you that care to answer it. More you than
I just posted it in chat.
Yeah.
What I would do?
Pete's trolling.
Personally, I would, and this is not financial advice in any way, shape or form. Like I said, what I would do is look at around about, depends on what they are, but especially if they're lots of common and uncommon, I would look at around about half, because I'd be hedging my bets on where people are going to put their money, because it could be that you end up in an enviable position from a staking perspective, or if the avatars and that are flying, you've got the option to do one of two things. You can either sell those to people that want avatars at a really good price, or you can actually decide that you want to invert a higher rate. So I'd start at about half as a plan, and then I'd be watching where the money goes. And you, Pete, you answered?
I said 900. But that's Pete's math, so may not be applicable.
Can't answer this until Tube's utility for tournaments and other games is known. Yeah, that's so true, Madame. And the thing is that the great space race is to make sure that all of those pieces are available to you to make an informed decision prior to things rolling out, and that's going to make it. I think that's actually going to make it more confusing in the beginning. Because you're going to have more and more options. But like I say, I would be following where people's money's going for sure and certain. Chop, quick, 100%. Yep, there you go. There is no cap on the number of avatars, will there? That affects my decision in burning tubes for them. Yes, there is a cap on the number of avatars. So there's only 5,000 set aside for cogs, so there is a cap for sure and certain. And I think that ultimately, based on what you guys are telling us, and it could change from week to week. If we did a poll this week, it's probably different to last week. But I would say that at the current rate of the amount of tubes and that, and Pete, correct me if I'm wrong, on the current tubes, I'm saying, on the current amount of tubes and all the rest of it, my math says that we'd probably get around about 3.8 if people claim at the rate they're trying to claim at. But that's not to say that people
Oh,
won't
no, no,
complete.
no. Yeah, you're very optimistic. Based on my estimates, I think less.
Yeah. Okay, well, it could be less, but the thing is that people will complete tubes as well, so that's the other factor that you've got to
Oh,
take
yeah.
into
I mean, but based on the current number of tubes and the current breakdown that I saw, I think it'll be less than that. But yes, from now till then, people could still assemble tubes, and the number could go higher.
What will happen to an avatar price in a year or so? No financial advice, of course. Just wondering how high it could go. Mate, I've got no freaking idea how this some of this stuff works. I mean, you look at what is it, Moonbirds or whatever. I don't want to fuel XP's fire, but if you have a look at how much utility projects like Fluff and that have introduced and brought in, and then you look at something that's new, that's got a few people that are well known, I think that what this goes to show you is that if you've got doxed teams that have strong plans for utility, people are going in hard on those because there's just so many dodgy actors in the space that people are getting rug pulled left, right, and centre. So I think the short answer is that it will depend largely on a couple of things. That is interoperability, take up of the vault, and again, if it's interoperable, if our avatars are able to move around other metaverse spaces as well, then they become less dependent on one space. But ultimately, it's the utility cases as well that they have and they bring. So very hard to say, and Coinbase and all of those guys do actually bring in the type of traction that they say that they're going to bring in, and that it looks like they're going to bring in. Then ultimately, it's possible that these will be the numbers of people that buy NFTs will swell largely, and therefore they could do anything. Madame, we've talked about that before. Is there a cap per wallet? What we've said is we'll advise in advance if anything like that comes up. But we were saying that we just know that people are going to, if you put ludicrous caps or like 1 per wallet or 2 per wallet, people will just create tons of wallets. So there's no real point to us doing that. And like Pete said, at the current rate, with people waiting for other things happening as well, we might not get to the point where we actually have them all redeemed anyway. So let's see. We've got options of backups for if people haven't. So we've got ways to fill the 5,000 for the COGS holders so we can go to other COGS. Would RFOX launch a space tourism venture compete with SpaceX? No. You'd need a ton of money for that. You could actually do feeder projects through NFTs and stuff, though, for sure. Are the tube avatars different to the future avatars then? No. The tube avatars, the avatars are the only thing that's different. Like apartments, they'll all be from the same random pool. Avatars at the top level will have OG, so they'll have different traits and utility, slightly higher utility. But the next rung of avatars will all be the same. As far as future avatars are concerned in the vault or integration is concerned, that would be dependent on which project and all the rest of it. But our avatars that we produce will obviously have higher utility than any of the partners that we have, obviously. Is there any plans for the vault to integrate existing Oculus games? Actually, it's a question that came up in an interview the other day. You guys probably remember, I don't know if it was Paul Barron or one of the other ones that did a lot of interviews last week. I'd love to be able to touch a billboard in the vault and trial play. Okay, so that yes, the billboard interaction for games and apps and stuff we've already been looking at for a long time. Spoken to a number of different companies. As far as the Oculus games are concerned, we've said before our preference is to have our own hardware, so to move away from the dependency on Oculus, because obviously they're going to be or they're going to see themselves as a major rival. We're going to see them as another metaverse player in the interoperable space. So ultimately, it would be good if we could accept games from all VR headsets. With so many crypto companies coming up with land sales now, do you know any that are actually doing it with VR? Besides Meta, do you know if RFOX Vault will be one of the few with a true metaverse experience coming on the market? As far as I know, mate, Pete, you can correct me if you know more as well, or anyone else from our team. I know of 4 that are actually trying to do something that is either partially or fully metaverse related, but most of them are either VR and interoperable, or VR not interoperable, or interoperable and not VR. It's very few that are going to come out to the market in the next 6 months that have a multi-chain approach in VR. In fact, I don't know of any that are doing that are going to be able to bring out something in the next 6 months that are both. So that's a question I got asked several times today as well, is can you please tell me a company that is exactly like you in the space? And I can't think of one. And it's not to say that we're trying to say that we're unique and we're different and all the rest of it. I just honestly can't think of one. I can think of tons of companies that are doing parts of what we're doing, but I don't know of any that are doing exactly the same thing. And if any of you guys know, please let me know, because we've missed it. Any idea what's up with Coinbase? Supposed to come out with Marketplace, and now it seems like they're focusing on making a movie with Bored Ape Yacht Club. Coinbase are obviously an organisation that's trying to pivot and make money. They've got, I think they're going to put their eggs in whichever basket's going to be the most fruitful going forwards. And I think what they've probably realised is that it's a lot harder to do this stuff than they think it is, especially when you're talking about the regulatory things that they have to deal with as well. So I think Coinbase has got it pretty tough, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I think that I think they're focusing on whatever's going to bring the highest amount of return and whatever's easiest, the least path to resistance. Any hints on the traits that you're looking at? Yeah, so I presume you're talking about avatars, so early access to potentially whitelists, tickets. So we're talking to clients, and some of those clients will give away free access tickets, merchandise, stuff like that. So the avatars our avatars will always be prioritized. If, for example, 4 of the 5,000 avatars only get minted, what happens to the remaining 1,000? Will they just be added to the 2004 Dutch auction in Q3? I think we've got enough of a backup plan for what we can do for other COGS holders as well to make sure that the 5,000 are filled. But again, we haven't finalised the exact structure of that, so I don't want to talk about it and get people collecting certain stuff if that's not going to happen. But yes. So Luke, we have Vault, RFOX Finance, COGS, Slam, COGS, NFTs, Tubes. What other RFOX products are you excited about?
I did answer this one in text, but TV. I think it's, we don't even really know the true value of it yet, but we can already see its potential. And like I said in the reply, that the quality of the product is so great already, and we're not even at the MVP stage. We're about to push it out, but it's already really, really slick. And I just can't wait to see where that goes. I'm excited about that journey.
I think what people are starting to do is realise that we're talking to that we've got, think of it like a train stop with multiple stops. You've got a beginning point and end point, and you can get from point A to right through to point B, but you don't have to do all of it. You can do any part of it, hop on, hop off where you need to be. So what's really exciting is getting the MVPs of all of these things out and then seeing how people use them in combination, and what tools or things that once we flick the creator economy switch on, what people are going to be putting out. Are there any news with the upcoming games?
So we'll start revealing some information in a few weeks regarding our second game, and then It should follow closely with third game news. We're just waiting for the ink to dry on that one.
There will be a peasant avatar. Yes, I can't wait for that. I'm looking so forward to having a bit of fun with that. I'll be gutted if I don't get one. I'll pay whatever I have to get one on the secondary market for sure. TV.
Is that like the RFOX 2020 that you still don't have?
You what? Sorry, mate.
Is that like the same as the RFOX 2020 that you still don't have?
I still don't have enough money. I'll get one. I've got a standing
Well,
offer out.
I mean, you have a standing offer for 10,000. Somebody sells it for less. So I got no idea, what the guy's
Well,
thinking.
apparently that person didn't know about my standing offer, so I do have a
I'm
standing
pretty
offer.
sure
I think
I'm pretty sure
plenty
he
of people
knows.
told him. Plenty of
Plenty
people.
of people told him that
Yeah.
you have a standing offer. He just didn't care.
So anybody listening that has an RFOX 2020 that wants to sell it for $10,000 US, I will buy it from you. I guess that means the floor's in, right? Because no one's selling one to me. When I asked about the traits, I meant traits on the avatar, like peasant version, etc. Oh, so yes, we've already got the avatars. We've put everything into this MVP and focusing on getting this out. But I can tell you, we have already seen and we already have visuals of the avatars. So we look forward to spoiling that to you and showing you. All I'm going to say at this stage, Pete, because Fish isn't here, is that they're very, I guess, space themed or galactic themed. Would you say? Pete's not going to answer.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I'm not gonna touch that. I'm not gonna get into that discussion.
Oh, I've said too much. Be good to design a future game that is graphically set in the vault. For sure, Face, that's already happening. So one of the main focuses for the team that has been developed is we've chosen a lot of people that are focusing on that now. So they're already designing games for the vault. So we've sort of reined that in and said that the primary focus is getting the visuals and the UI, UX, and the function for the vault out. But they're already you'll see when you see the avatars and we talk about what's planned for the avatars and the upgradable nature of them. You'll see exactly where this is going. There will be a game to the same visual level, graphically being built. It's already been being planned and scoped, and we're heading towards there. So as far as timelines on that is concerned, I don't know, because they're also waiting on the world to be delivered. But once that's delivered, they've got some very detailed plans on exactly what games will be built specifically for and in the vault. How many shots will Elon Musk buy once you find out about the vault? Yeah. I could always burn a couple more 100 tubes if I need to, I guess. It's going to be one hell of a burn party. It will be, for sure. We should do that, Pete. We can't do it, though, because it's randomly generated, right? But it would be good if you could actually you have like a burn auction for peasants. Imagine that. Who can burn the highest?
You want to burn the peasants?
No, a burn auction for the peasants. So what I mean
Oh,
is
burn
that
auctions of peasants. Oh, okay. Oh,
I've
that's a
got a
lot of
standing
work.
bid of 30 I know. What I'm saying is, you imagine if you went out and said, I got 30 common tubes, I'll bid 35 common tubes for a peasant. That'd be cool. But that would indicate that you would already have to have exposed the traits and yeah.
No. We could that. Okay, I shall not mention. Almost mention it, but yeah, we could do something like that if we wanted to. It is possible. It is possible.
fair call. There you go. Would get people to burn ultra air. Yeah, for sure. I think that they'll be I think they'll go for a lot, the peasants, especially if we make them super scarce. For sure and certain. So, what do you? That's the second quarter you've seen. So you've seen that. So I want to finish on this note. You've seen the music quarter. I'll put a little thing here.
They haven't seen Pete's quarter yet.
You can put your little thumbs up and stuff under those. Which one do you like better out of the two that you've seen as far as aesthetics and visuals? Well, there you go. Can you get a one-on-one peasant avatar? I think everyone's going to want that. If I get my way, it's going to have it's going to be pretty gnarly design. But we've got to do something for you, madame. We will, don't worry. If you've coined that, you should be rewarded. You did name it. You didn't name it Benny. You named it Benny.
No, she named she coined the peasant avatars.
Oh man, that would be just the ultimate humiliation, wouldn't it? Having like a South Park Jesus avatar walking around saying Benny on it.
Oh, she
Yeah, that's
fixed
what
it. She says, "I named it ... Benny."
It's got to have it's got to have some semblance of being able to walk around and say, "Do you have any bread to spare, madame?" It's got a big people on the street. Anytime it sees a female. That's not the type of kudos out of my way, peasants. I can't wait for it. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. All I can say to you guys is I hope a lot of you guys get into the 300. If you haven't applied for it, please do. But I'd really rather get a lot of feedback from the guys that have been around the traps and know what we're trying to do, as opposed to some peanut who comes in and says, I had a thing and an Oculus, and therefore I got in, and I don't give a crap about your project, and rah. Would rather get really constructive feedback from you guys. But ultimately, I think it's pretty clear to all and sundry that this is very much a sandbox. You know what Calanova is going to look like compared to what it does look like. So ultimately, we're looking for function. And the good part about it is you're going to get the hot on the heels release of, as Luke said, a much more polished TV, much more polished NFT platform. So ultimately, it is what it is. It is the power board that the plugs plug into. The plugs are more developed, and then the power board will move faster to become interoperable and iterate. You wish you had an Oculus. We're giving away heaps of Oculus. So we're doing that. Do you want me to do a competition where we do one in here? Why don't we do an Oculus wheel spin on Wednesday? Would you like? What do you reckon, Pete? An Oculus wheel spin?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Might as well do it. No one's here to
Piyush is not around to stop it, so yeah, let's do it.
If they, it's gone from Pete being Mr. Mute to Piyush. It's kind of cool, isn't it? It's like the chain. We're just going to keep recruiting bad guys, and then Piyush will at some stage in the next 6 months go, "Hey, that guy's not here. Pete, Benny, what do you want to do? We need a new villain." All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I know some of you are on public holidays today. If you are, have a fantastic Easter Monday if you so celebrate or inclined. And thank you so much for taking up your time to come and join us tonight. Really appreciate it, and look forward to coming back on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we will do a Oculus head spin, Oculus Wednesday, for somebody that's actually on the call. So you must be.
Did you just say an Oculus head spin?
An Oculus head spin?
I was laughing at that. Yeah, I heard that too. Oculus
All right.
Headspin.
Yeah, I was on mute, but I was laughing my ass off.
All right, well, let's call it Headspin Wednesday. Headspin Wednesday. We'll see you for Headspin Wednesday. There you go. Have a fantastic night, guys, and thank you again for joining us. Appreciate it. Trade safe, be safe, and we'll see you back Wednesday.
See you
Take care,
guys. Have a
everyone.
great night.
Stay
Bye.
safe.